This is Urasawa Boys, a podcast where we read and discuss the works of manga artist and author Naoki Urasawa. Right now, we're reading Monster, and Monster deals with a lot of dark and troubling topics and themes, so a list of content warnings is going to be available in the show notes. Thanks for listening.
That's not how the podcast starts, Quinn. It's important.
I'm Samuel Quinn Morris.
I'm Matt Fennell.
Welcome back to Urasawa Boys, the podcast where we welcome you back to the podcast Urasawa Boys about...
boy.
I was working on that while I was eating cereal a few minutes ago. How do you...
It's way too hot, and my brain's not going to be able to keep up. We got to be careful.
Well, don't worry. We're not getting any more. I didn't have time in my 3 bowls of cereal to come up with more levels to the Matryoshka. I'm pretty satisfied with what I got. In the meantime, listeners, I've never been more sad that you were only listeners.
This is an audio medium.
This is an audio medium, and it's a tragedy because Matt looks singular today. This fucking guy. Let me just try this. He's got. Is that it?
Run them through the look.
Yeah. So let's go from bottom up, right? So he's got a sky blue shirt with these little like white pips on it, right? And little dots and a nice little pattern. He's got a tie. It's kind of a gray green with these nice flowers on it, white and red flowers. Oh, and a great texture on that too. I didn't notice the texture. What's that texture called there, Matt? Do we know?
Well, it's kind of like it's doing like a pointillism thing a little bit. I don't know. The flowers look like they're painted onto the tie. I've had this tie since high school. This is one of my favorite ties.
Oh, it's a great tie. It goes very well with the shirt. And then we've got our beefy, like, it's not quite walrus because it's not as big as that. It doesn't like go down as far, but it's
walrus-esque.
Yeah, it's walrus-esque. You know what it is. It's a Reichwein mustache.
Oh,
it's
see, I was going for young Ron Burgundy because I've been rewatching Parks and Rec recently. Not Ron Burgundy, Ron Swanson. Ron Burgundy has a mustache too.
It's similar. It's more Swanson than Burgundy. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And so then you come to the hair, which is swept over in perfect Sunday service fashion. And this then leads us to the final piece, which, like, this would be great on its own. But then he's wearing these, like, gamer headphones with the mic, right, with a little cable. And that makes this man look like the most sportscaster dude. Like, this guy is telling you.
Yeah.
This guy is telling you that it is the bottom of the ninth and you've got 15 yards to go, and it's anybody's game.
Well, yeah, I was going to say it's football night in America here. As we get back into college football season. I am a casual sports fan is the thing. Like, my brother, my dad, and my cousins are much more sports people. Living in the American South, college football is an institution here. And it is a big topic of conversation in the office.
I'm from Chapel Hill, so if any listeners here are also
from the Triangle,
you will know. Yeah, from the Triangle. I only say that for other people because nobody knows.
Well,
where Chapel
I've picked
Hill
it up
is.
because now I'm on calls with other people from, as it would be, the Triangle. And I hear you all say it enough where I'm like, ooh, the Triangle.
It's just like nobody knows where Chapel Hill is. Nobody knows where Durham is. Only a few people know where Raleigh is. But you say the Triangle, and everybody.
I think everyone knows where Raleigh
is.
I mean, but maybe I'm just wrong because I grew up in Maryland and Raleigh is close enough.
You also work in the tech industry. Like, if you're in certain industries, the Triangle is a very recognizable location.
Yeah. But what I was going to say was I'm a casual sports fan. Like, I like going to sports events. I never watch sports on TV. I love going to baseball games, love going to football games. A big part of my adult life has been listening to either podcasts or relatives talk about sports and remembering just enough of that so that I can repeat it in conversation at the office. And people are like, yes, no, good. This is someone that we like and respect. This isn't a hippie liberal or a queer, you know? Sorry to get a little hard right there at the
That's
beginning,
so
but
funny. God damn, that's so funny.
but yeah, no, sportscaster. That wasn't what I thought you were gonna say, but I do like that. And I think you're right. I feel like I'm an ESPN sportscaster right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm happy to tell you about our sponsors and whatever stats the stats guy has dug up for us. Have you ever thought, I don't know, maybe this is just me, I think being the stats guy for a sports channel would be a fascinating job. Like the amount of data that they, because like, you know, if you're ever watching sports, I think in the modern era, they throw up some wild stats about like every player. Whenever there's someone who's like a person of interest during a sports game, they will throw up stats where it's like, yeah, this guy's had 6 interceptions in the last 18 games that he's played in this region on Thursdays when it's 67 degrees outside. So I just think like that is such an interesting line of work to just be like, yeah, this is an interesting stat that I'm going to pull out and we're going to highlight. Or this is just something stupid that I have the data to back up. I think it's neat that we live in a time where that's a thing.
Yeah. I have a couple microphone-related apologies. One,
okay.
I just realized that my microphone has been turned up super high this whole time, so I just turned that down. So there's going to be that. There might also be some background noise. I don't know. And of course, like, I moved recently. I'm in Iowa City, and this room is very echoey. So listeners, my voice is a little bit warbly. We had to do some magic to make it not echo. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got some fun plugins to do the editing on the last episode, and I don't think it was super noticeable, like if you weren't us, like Matt and Quinn, but
I hope not.
Yeah, hopefully the audio quality isn't like, you know, drastically terrible compared to earlier episodes. But
yeah.
We're here, we're ready to record. There's some fun stuff to talk about this week.
Yep. Yeah, there's some fun stuff. One more piece of preamble before we jump into it.
I have another after yours.
Great.
So,
yeah, we're really
preamble.
I'm feeling good about this episode.
It's the Sunday energy. Yeah,
we're firing on all cylinders here. I picked up Armored Core 6 last night.
Oh, Fires of the Rubicon.
Yeah, that's the one. That's
the subtitle.
One. Yeah. I picked up Baldur's Gate 3 a couple weeks ago, and it turns out I don't really like playing the single player that much. So then I had to get a different single player game for my single player needs. And I was up until 5 a.m. playing mech dress up. I wasn't even playing missions. I need to stress this. I was not even piloting these mechs.
You were just making the mech?
No, not even making. Because I'm so early in the game, I barely have any parts to swap out. What I decided to do is for each... So basically, I like character customization, right? Back when I used to play, like, Borderlands 2, I would do, like, runs of Borderlands 2, and for every side mission, I would change my outfit to suit what that mission was about, right? So I love tailoring things to other things. I love specificity. And so what I've decided to do for this game is I design each mech after a bottle of alcohol. After a particular brand.
Wow.
Right? And so in this game, there are, like, the biggest changes you can make to your playstyle, as I understand it, are the legs and your primary weapon, right? So, basically, each primary weapon type is a type of alcohol, and then each leg type, I'm going to make a different brand. So right now, I've got, like for example, the assault rifles are all gins. So I think I have Beefeater, Tonkaray, and Citadel, which is it's actually a really nice French gin, good for mixing. And so not only am I painting them with the color schemes of the bottles, and often the heads are designed after the caps, but also Armored Core has a very specific, like, decal creator. Like, it's kind of shitty. It's super weird.
No.
It's like a really weird graphic design interface. And so what I do is I recreate the I recreate like the name of the thing, like the logo, and then also for like the chest area, I recreate often the label itself. Um, I have a whole I've made like 13 or 14 of those some bitches. They take like 40 minutes each because of how obnoxious and finicky that graphic design interface is. It's absolutely wild. Um,
This is insane. You need to, first of all, you need to, I looked up, listeners may have heard me typing a little bit during an earlier part of this. I had to look up, I had to remember the director's name. The director of Cowboy Bebop. This is a Shinichiro Watanabe-ass piece of mech design that you've done here, where you have made each of them a bottle of liquor.
Yeah. Let me just send you one, because I took screenshots of one of them just so you can see like the level of detail.
I'm gonna live react to this.
Yeah, get live react. This is one of the first ones that I realized I could do this for, and it is absolutely insane. I am so proud of it. Okay, so okay. I'm sending you the control, right? I'm sending you the bottle itself, right? And that's Tito's.
A bottle of Tito's
vodka, right? And in case you guys are wondering, vodka is machine guns. So that's the.
I thought you said, gin is assault rifles. Vodka's machine guns.
Yes. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yes.
Holy cow!
I know.
Oh my gosh! Listeners, this is a 1-to-1. I mean,
I actually did it. I actually did it, is the thing.
Oh no! Oh, this is such a good bit. This is such a good bit.
Dude, I got so many more of these.
Yeah, this is a Twitter thread that would go viral, honestly. Yeah. I mean, because people love that where it's like...
Crossed, right? Fingers crossed.
Yes. Yeah. You just need to... This is... Okay, well, now I'm going to get... I'm not on Twitter anymore, but TikTok, I do get screenshots of good tweets, and one of them was someone being like, algorithm, prime posting time, delaying tweets, my brother in Christ, you see me when you see me. It's in the hands of God, and I am not praying. Which
wow,
I think is a fantastic phrase.
That's a good fucking line.
Yeah,
I am
man.
Not praying. Oh.
Holy cow, these robots. This is insane. This is so good. I mean, good for you. I'm a big fan of this.
I'm having a good time.
I'll talk about mad stuff for a second. I went to a country music concert the other night. One of our friends who we go to church with, he was working the door at a venue called Songbirds. It was Josh Malloy. I had not heard of him before, but he put on a really good show. It's like, radio, pop, country music. Sure. It was fun. I high-fived my buddy when I went in, and he looked at my license, which is pre-mustache, pre-mullet. That's like, I mean, I got that 2019. He's like, you look extremely different in this picture than you do right now. And I was like, yeah. He's like, the mustache is doing a lot for you. So, like I said, men continue to love the mustache. I don't think women like it very much. So we'll see.
Said literally anything about it except for Maya saying she hates it.
My mom also hates it.
Okay, great. So
yeah, happy birthday, Mom. By the way,
2 on this one. Oh, happy birthday, Mom.
So it's I'll keep it around until I get tired of it. I think is where I'm at with it.
Sure. Yeah.
I bought some mustache wax online today, so I think that's going to be the determining factor. Is like when that shows up, if I decide that I like the way that further care to it feels or not. But I don't think it's gonna last too much longer. I think as we transition into the fall, the mustache will fall away. You mentioned Baldur's Gate 3. I am also playing Baldur's Gate 3. We had a brief conversation about this yesterday. All of the female companions in Baldur's Gate 3 are Matt Vanell girlfriends. And on this first run, I am trying to woo Lae'zel because she's mean and strong and knows more than I do. So we're rolling through town, trying to find... I'm still in the first act, still very early. I installed some mods yesterday that let me move around with WASD and kind of control the camera with mouse. The controller controls in that game are really good, but it's still... There's like just enough that you have to click on during combat where I don't really want to play with controller. So these mods kind of let me split the difference. And that has made it already like a lot easier for me to navigate and kind of feel out how to play this game. So I'm having a really good time with it. It's making me want to play 5th edition again, which like really all it takes is any mildly successful Dungeons and Dragons property. Like the movie was the same thing when that came out. I was like, I would like to play 5th edition again.
Great way to play 5th edition.
Yeah, I'm having a really good time with it. Totally. So you'll probably continue to hear more about that. I think that's probably enough preamble.
I think that's enough. We hit almost 20 minutes. I'm calling that good for sure. Yeah.
Okay, I did want to say one thing before we... Well, I wanted to say 2 things as notes before we start.
Matt, what 2 things did you want to say?
Well, the first is related to, in the past, we have talked about what our next reading is going to be after we finish Monster. And we'd said it was going to be Pluto so we could line up with the release of the Netflix anime. Listeners, as I'm sure you're aware, there's some labor action going on right now. The Writers Guild of America and SAG-AFTRA are both on strike as we record this episode. And SAG-AFTRA in particular has put out guidelines that are mostly aimed at the kind of rewatch podcasts that a lot of actors do that are very popular right now. You know, for shows like The Office, It's Always Sunny, et cetera, et cetera. But they have requested that podcasts steer away from rewatch and coverage of things that were produced under the current agreement, which, you know, I honestly don't know if anime, and especially Netflix anime, falls under that current agreement. But the reasoning...
in association with Netflix Studios,
right,
which is one of the struck studios.
Right. The reasoning was, hey, for these things under the current contract, we don't want to drive traffic towards these studios that we're striking against. Yep. So, you know, we really don't fall into the people that they were aiming that suggestion at, but they've said like, hey, if you want to also follow these suggestions as an act of solidarity, that would be appreciated. A lot of podcasts that Quinn and I are a fan of have been following these suggestions and guidelines. A More Civilized Age, Shelf by Genre, etc. So
what's NCA doing?
Well, they were doing games? Rebels, okay. Star Wars Rebels, which is Disney Plus.
What are they? That doesn't.
Oh, right
struck.
now,
How is
no,
Disney
no,
not struck. Yeah.
Well, Disney is struck, so they've shifted to they're playing KOTOR, is what they're doing.
Oh, what a great option. Yeah, that's beautiful.
It's interesting. Yeah. And so those episodes are going to be cool for sure. I think they're halfway through the first planet in KOTOR, which is about how much of that game that I've played. So, in accordance with that, we are not going to be covering Pluto next. We're going to go back to our original plan for the second season, which is Master Keaton. So I know that's kind of a big, seemingly last-minute shift. We're going to play it by ear. We're going to see how it goes. Quinn, I know, just recently read through Master Keaton.
Yeah.
To completion.
While I was hanging out at Matt's house, because Matt has the series, and I got the print.
Back when we initially decided Master Keaton was going to be next.
I've read it. It's super interesting. I think actually it's a good thing to read after Monster, because I think a lot of the stuff from Master Keaton, just like Urasawa, just picked it up and ran.
Okay.
In a, like, not all of it, but there's a few important things, especially near the end. It's going to be a pretty different kind of a show to this one, and in ways that I'm actually kind of excited about. And I hope you guys are too. So, keep an eye out for that in what, like 3 months? Is it 3 months?
It's gonna be like October, is the thing, which seems further away than it should be with how near the end of Monster we are, but it's gonna be soon. And
October,
like I said,
November in there. We might take it.
Quinn just read through it, so we'll have the same kind of dynamic of someone who knows what's coming, someone who doesn't. Because I know that's a kind of a crucial part of this show where I get to just like wildly say things and then sometimes be right. And Quinn just has to be like, oh, I don't know. So that was the first thing I wanted to touch on. Okay. The second one, much, much, much smaller. This is more just kind of, as I was taking the notes for this chapter, it was something that I thought about, because the podcast is an audio medium, the work that we're covering is a visual medium. Something that I realized that might not have been clear in our summaries of Nina's flashbacks in the past couple chapters, like since the start of the second half, is I mention a lot when I'm doing the summaries, there's kind of two men that I will mention. One of them is the man who reaches towards her and says, human beings can become anything. The other man is the man who sits in the front of the car and turns to her and says, you mustn't hide anything from him. So those two men, it's been clear to us in the reading before. It's explicitly clear in the reading this week. But I just wanted to make it clear for people who might be listening and not reading. The man who says human beings can become anything is Franz Bonaparte, and the man who says you mustn't hide anything from him is Peter Chopik.
Yeah.
Just as a clarification.
It's also it's Chopik.
Chopik.
It would be Chopik.
I said Chopik?
Yeah.
Chopik?
It would be Chopik if it was the S with the thing.
Oh, okay, but it's the C, so it's Chopik.
Yep.
It's weird that it changes the P. Well, I guess I was saying Sha, not Cha. Okay. Yeah. It's not the P that was changing.
It's
no.
not the P. Chop.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the other one. Okay.
This is a long reading today. Did you note how many chapters it was?
10. 10
It was
chapters.
10. We've
10
gone from
chapters.
8 to 9 to 10.
That's true. However, it should be noted that the
They get
10th
shorter.
chapter here is teensy. It's very, very
Yeah.
quick. And it's kind of a recap chapter. God, this reading...
3 segments is how I would describe
Man.
it.
Yeah, well, the thing, last reading, I was saying, oh, man, I don't remember how to take notes, or they're oh, geez, I did take a lot of notes. This reading, I went crazy with the notes.
Okay, this is good. I'm glad you have a lot, because I was kind of, near the end of this one, I was like, this is just plot. I don't have a lot to say.
Near the end, it chills out a bit, but especially, like the first 4, and I think there's a number of things to talk about here.
Yeah. So
Pretty
I'm excited
stuff.
to get into it. This is
in terms of what this reading is doing. Do we have any man? So you said three segments, but go into that a bit.
Yeah, so there's I think there's 3 distinct sections. One of them is the follow up from the stuff we saw last time with where we ended with Tenma with Milan. And kind of the revelation that Milan is also out to kill Chopik. So that's the first section. Then we get some detective-y stuff that kind of... It's a rerun at some stuff that we've seen before, and now it really makes it explicit, here's how things are working. And some of the mechanics of how Johan has been doing all these unrelated murders over the course of the story. We do some solid detective work. And then the last set of chapters is just a straight shot thriller episode of everyone's racing to a couple different locations and things are happening very quickly. As we line up for the end. And I say this every time. There's one entire volume left. From where this reading ends, I don't know how we have 18 to 20 chapters left. I don't know how we get 2 more episodes of story. Even if we wrap everything up in the next episode and then have an episode of decompression, which a lot of stories will do
I'll
sometimes.
Tell you this, that's not
so
what
this
happens.
it just ends. This one just ends then, is how Monster goes. Okay,
I think there's
all right.
maybe 1 chapter of wrap up.
We're not doing the Lord of the Rings where we have, 17 endings at the end of this.
No.
Because I could see Monster doing that.
Well,
because we
might have some little epilogue stuff. Like I said, it's 1 chapter, maybe it's 2. I don't know.
We have
somewhere in
so many characters that we've interacted with over the course of this story. And it has already shown it likes to pull those people back in. Like when we had the Spirit Bomb for Tenma chapters.
We have
everyone who we'd seen before. Yeah. Well,
we do. We have a pretty big yoinking someone back. This reading. We have a huge one.
Do we?
Massive.
What do you...
Weissbach.
Oh.
See, you don't even remember him.
Oh,
that's how big
well,
of a yoink back
because
is.
he wasn't a character before, was the thing. He was just someone who showed up. Now he becomes a character.
That makes it an even bigger yoink back.
Yeah.
The fact that he got
well,
pulled
I
in
wasn't
from...
I wasn't saying yoink back. I was saying more like the way that the Spirit Bomb for Tenma chapter worked was not only are we seeing all these characters, they are having ends to their arcs is what they're doing. And it's it's pushing forward the story, right? Mm-hmm. Here's another guy who we haven't thought of in a long time who's back and has something interesting to do.
Okay, right, yeah, different things.
A little bit different, but yeah, I'm so curious to see how this ends. So let's just let's just get into it.
I love the ending. Okay. All right. Chapter 132. Lead us in.
Beyond the rooftops, We open with a flashback. Peter Chopik moves to the Turkish quarter and is welcomed by an unseen man. Chopik remarks that it reminds him of the place where he grew up and he'll make it his second home. In the present, Tenma and the kids throw paper airplanes. Tenma is really bad at making paper airplanes, but the kids tell him that Milan's are great. They fly over the rooftops, and Milan always says the same thing. Someday we'll fly away and visit all of the places everyone is from. Milan and Tenma then discuss Milan's mission to kill Chopik. Chopik moved to Frankfurt in 1989 after the fall of the communist regime in Czechoslovakia. He became a local German teacher, working with the children of immigrants there, changing them with another evil reading group. The kids changed, many killed themselves, and a huge fight broke out among the survivors. The child believed to be the instigator was Milan's son, who killed himself after being questioned. Chopik escaped and joined the far-right nationalist movement and dedicated his life to destroying the Turkish quarter through a bunch of different avenues, including the fire. Milan reveals that Chopik had 5 local leaders who opposed him, the family of the group now living with him, murdered. And for this, Chopik is going to kill him. Tenma and the kids make more airplanes, and the kids reveal that they know Milan's promises to visit their places that they're all from is just wishful thinking. Tenma agrees, but says that hope is important, and throws a perfect paper airplane. In the night, Milan confronts Tenma, asking for his gun. Tenma tries to talk Milan out of it, saying his new family needs him, but Milan pulls Tenma's gun and asks again for his own gun, saying Tenma can't stop him because they're on similar missions. The chapter ends with the revelation. Milan feels responsible for what happened because he and Chopik grew up together, and Milan brought Chopik to Frankfurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
it's good
chapter. It's a really good chapter. I think kind of the really fun thing about it is that ending revelation that we are the same. You know, that it's not revenge, it is atonement. In the same way Tenma feels what he's doing is atonement.
Well, like, I had forgotten. At this point, we're so far into the story that I had forget. Sometimes it's easy to forget. Tenma is on this mission because he saved Johann's life at the beginning of the story, right? And it's like, every time you remember it, it's like, oh, shoot. Yeah, like, that's why he just can't let this go. And like you said, atonement is a very good way to put it. It's the story that, what was his name? The sad man that Nina was friends with.
Oh,
the puppet boy.
Oh, man, I can't remember
remember his name.
Oh, man.
Yeah, darn. But, he had his story about the devil and the man who saved the devil and had to go kill him. It's like, every time that story gets brought up, I'm like, damn, yeah, that is a good pitch. I think that's why this story works so well. It's really rock solid at the core. Yeah.
Yep. What was it? Right, so yeah, and then, like, learning about Milan's son...
It's such a good deployed piece of backstory where it's like, it's this thing, it's like we get so much exposition at once, right? And it's like, it feels fully formed and like, probably this wasn't there from the start, but it's so easy to believe like, yeah, this has always been in play. And like, we're just dropping this in and yes, it's a lot of exposition all at once, but I think all of it is good. And just like every twist and turn in the piece of exposition just makes you feel worse, right? Like, I brought him here. He started another reading group. The kids got worse. It was my son. Like,
it keeps escalating, and that it's that final gut punch. It would be. I don't think it would hit anywhere near the same if it wasn't his son.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked before about their blackpilling the kids. And I think what we see here, this is actually really, really important. The kids started killing themselves. And there was a massacre, right? This is very important because this means Johann didn't invent this move.
Right. I mean, because I guess the only other time I guess we've seen a massacre. This would be the third one we've seen then, because there's the one from Kinderheim 511. There's the one in the mansion where presumably everyone was poisoned. Yeah. And then there's this one. Yeah, so it's like whatever this black pilling is just leads to this nihilism leads to people tearing each other apart.
Exactly. But it's important because it means that Johann isn't he is a unique genius, but he is not the unique genius. He learned this move. And
he specifically says that later. He says the monster was not sorry to jump ahead, but he says the monster isn't inside of me. Yep. The monster was from outside.
Yes. And that's really important because that's a fundamental reworking of how we see Johann, right? This is something that's very important to how we conceptualize Johann as a character, and as an object of evil. And so the fact that he didn't invent this, that it's not coming, springing from his thigh fully formed, really, really important.
Yeah, because I guess that becomes, that's like the driving factor of that as we're racing towards the end is whose plan is this, is the thing that people keep saying.
Ooh, yeah.
So yeah, it's good. And so the note I had here was, okay, so we know that Peter Chapek becomes involved with the far-right kind of neo-Nazi movement. White nationalism, like white German nationalism. And I think it's very interesting that his reading group here is like a German as a second language group for children of immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that it's like the same tactics that are being deployed for this idea of white supremacy and nationalism, but it's working on people who I think those people in those groups would hate. I don't know. I don't know if I have a fully formed thought here on what's going on, why this tactic's being deployed.
I don't think Chapek... I could be wrong, but it seems to me that Chapek allies himself with the white supremacists out of convenience, not out of belief.
Yeah. I think you're right, especially based on a conversation that they have in the next chapter. It like you said, it's convenience seems right because it's like it's the way that Milan tells it is the only reason that we didn't kill him, like that we didn't lynch him in the street, was he's scampered away and allied up with these white nationalists who would protect him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there's some good. There's a couple of great visual things here.
Love the airplane stuff.
Yeah,
I think it'd be tacky.
Stuff is amazing.
That's some Denny O'Neil shit. Like
Mm-hmm.
but it really works for me. Like
I love
especially
how Denny O'Neil is our like shorthand for slightly overwrought metaphor.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like saccharine and just like hitting it in the face with how obvious it is. But it's just always every time you read it, you're like, man, that works.
It works. Like there's a bit here. I have a couple notes on paper planes where. Like, there's one bit where there's a panel of a door slam, and then the next panel is, like, a paper plane falling right down, and it's like, oh, that's good. And then later, there's an amazing one, where...
The bulldozer?
Yes, the bulldozer.
Yes.
They follow. It's so cinematic. It's so like movie. They follow the good paper plane that they threw. The camera follows it, and it lands in a construction site where they're tearing down the Turkish quarter, and the bulldozer just grunch.
A worse comic would end on that panel, but then Monster continues to go, and we have another scene where it's like we have Milan and Tenma having this confrontation, right? About like what are we gonna do? Like, okay, where do we go from here? It's just like, it's such a good image. And like, I don't know, the conversation that Tenma has with the kids, I really like the fact that the kids are like, these are young children, but even they know, like this thing that Milan tells them about, like, one day we're going to go back to where we're all from. We're going to be this big, happy family. Like, they even know, like, they're like, yeah, we know that's wishful thinking. We go along with it because... it's something that he cares about. And Tenma's like, you know what? Maybe it is wishful thinking, but that doesn't mean that it's not important. Yeah. It's this lesson of hope that he learned from, prison escapee man. Another character whose name I will not remember.
Oh, God. We are reaching
Don't even
the
try.
point where
there's too many.
There's too many of these guys.
The minor characters, as much as we like them, can't remember their names.
Gunther Milch.
There you go.
Yeah. One great thing, one really cool thing about this scene that Tenma and Milan have, Tenma says, you have a family, those children, those people all love you, you can't do this. Now, what this lets us know is we already knew it, but Tenma considers himself as being entirely alone. And I think that's the most...
And we as the readers know he's not, because every section of chapters we cut back to Tenma's family having dinner at Dr. Reichwein's, saying
everyone's
we have to save Tenma.
Damn, what's up with Tenma? How's Tenma doing? Fuck. And I just think that's really interesting that Tenma has this belief. Like, he just doesn't believe that anybody really cares about him, or that he's like important to anybody. You know, like even Ava, like he's obviously incredibly important to Ava, and then later in the reading he's like, I totally ruined your life and I'm so sorry.
I hate that move that he does here. I think that is extremely selfish what he does with Ava.
We'll talk about it more later.
Yes.
We'll talk about it more later. But yeah, agreed.
But Quinn, do you know who else is someone who considers that, you know, they're not important, they don't matter, they don't exist?
Well, I guess that it's kind of like Johan.
He's kind of like Johan. I mean,
Johan.
You know,
two sides of the same
it's
coin.
not. It's not.
Still not.
It's not that.
It is still not that. Like even, they're not the same.
They're not the same, but they're doing the same thing
fucking
here.
Coin. Yeah, you know, it's really. Oof. Anyway. Yeah, and I feel like
I don't have any more for this chapter.
We can kick it to the next chapter.
133.
Right. Chapter 133. Response to friendship.
What a title! Not a very good one. IMO.
Yeah, there might be another translation. I would want to look that up while I'm doing the summary.
Okay.
As children in East Germany, Milan and Peter hang out in a building, talk about life beyond the border, and make paper planes. Milan tells Tenma more about his childhood, about how him and Peter Čapek got along, and how when the communist regime fell in Czechoslovakia, Milan was the one who helped Peter Čapek defect to Germany, and how he feels entirely responsible for everything that followed. In Prague in 1969, Peter and Milan catch up. Milan's getting his dental practice up and running. Milan talks a bit about how during the Prague Spring, he got to visit the West. Milan asks how it was, and Peter says, "There's nothing on this side, nothing on that side. This country has got it all wrong, but that country hasn't got it right either." And then Peter continues to talk about a new patron, a truly amazing person, who is a creator of things that are completely new. Milan asks, what kind of things? And Peter says, frightening ones. In the present, Milan reflects and regrets, gives Tenma his gun back, and takes his own. Wow, English isn't great at that particular exchange. Tenma continues trying to persuade Milan not to do it, but Milan's like, "Hey man, you can't tell me not to do it because this is literally what you're doing. It is the same thing." And Milan says, "Thank you for trying to stop me. If I were in your shoes, I don't think I could stop me." At a convention center in Frankfurt, Milan pulls out a gun. We hear gunshots. Back at the apartment, Tenma's making a yakudan for the whole family, for everybody, as the news talks about a shooting at a convention center where the gunman was shot and killed, and no one else was harmed in the incident. Meanwhile, at a bar, Nina sees footage of the incident on the news and recognizes Peter Čapek.
Dun dun dun. Yeah, I mean, you know, I said in the last chapter, we get a lot of backstory very quickly.
Yeah.
And then we double down here.
This is
where it's like, hey,
but
here's some backstory
the...
to your backstory.
Yeah. It's some of the smoothest backstory that we've had in the series, though. Like, I don't mind reading it. I'm like, oh, yeah, cool, okay.
No, I liked it all. I do think, and maybe it was just because of the speed that I was reading it the first time, I missed the date tag on that 1969 meeting.
Oh,
and
so you were
for
just
some
like,
reason,
what's this
well,
going
I
on?
read it as 1989, and I'm like, this is happening in the same year? He's grown this beard in that year?
No.
So I do think that, yeah, we're moving through multiple time periods very quickly in a way that I don't think we have a lot before.
Yeah, this one jumps around a bit.
Yeah, and I like it. I think it's good. All of it is interesting. The conversation that they have, like every conversation that they have about, the East and the West, from the start when they're kids, and Chopik says, I hear they have something on the West, because they're talking about like a drunk guy that they know, like who wanders around their streets, and what he said about the West, and then Chopik says, I hear they have something in the West that messes up drunk guys like him. And Milan expresses some like horror, like, why would that be something that's interesting to you, something that messes people up like that? And like, I think that's an interesting exchange for a bunch of reasons, because like, I like to, it's like, okay, what is the thing that they're talking about that messes up drunk people west of the Berlin Wall?
Yeah,
like,
hold on. Let me see this.
I don't know. Like, I don't know what that means.
I heard that beyond the border, got something that messes up guys like old man Gregor. I don't know what the hell. Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means. I don't know if it's a reference to anything in particular, but I think it is like a really interesting phrase and kind of piece of language.
It might just have something to do with like kids just being like, I heard such and such about beyond the border.
Yeah, there's a monster over there or
exactly.
whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A monster.
I don't know.
No, but the conversation they have in 69 when, he is, it seems like Chopik has been monsterfied at this point, where he's like, nothing's good over here, nothing's good over there, but I've met someone who is bigger and better.
Yeah. I have a couple notes about that. For one thing, the bar that they went to is called Uklitsu, and it is real. So I figured out the breakdown. I am going to stop looking for real stuff in the text, because you never get anything real in the text. But he does depict real places. So that's Zametsnitstvi and Uklitsu, which are both real places in the old town of Prague, both still there. Uklitsu means at the keys. And so, it's kind of like how in Britain, like, they have their... Like pubs are like they have their arms, and so it's like at the king's arms, at such and such arms. It's the same thing. Where are you going? Oh, where are you gonna be? Oh, I'm gonna be at the keys. That kind of thing. So anyway, yeah, real place. And I think Peter saying nobody's got it right is great, perfect timing, because last episode, you remember, we were talking about how Monster as a series doesn't seem to be telling us strictly that one side or the other is necessarily better. Like we said, they're softer on the West, to be sure.
They definitely are, because this is a character who's a villain, saying that the West does not also have it right, and we're hearing this story told by someone who has settled happily in the West, like after everything has collapsed in the East. So, I want to make sure that we reaffirm they're being a little bit softer on the West, but it is...
Yeah, because the way he says it specifically, this country has got it all wrong, but that country hasn't got it right either. So it is still kind of running into that West liberal democracy. It might not be perfect, but it's still better than that other thing. Yeah. And you know what? I expect people probably felt that way at the time.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I just think about, I even hate to bring this up, but just like all of the, 2016 through 2020, all of the tweets about this is your fault because you weren't happy enough with Hillary, right? Like, horrible neoliberalism wasn't good enough for you, so now we're stuck with fascism,
Yeah, totally.
Like,
but it's nice to have the political perspective of this manga finally just like nailed down. We're like, okay, this is what we thought it was. It's saying what we predicted it was saying. It's nice to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty cool. Let me see. I don't know if you guys, I'm sure you guys did notice, but Peter has been referring to Chapek as a devil, which means that
Yes.
Johann is no longer the only one. Which I think is kind of a theme of this reading in particular, is that Johann's singularity has been removed. He's no longer this unique evil entity.
Well, we talked about this a little bit last time, right, with Mephistopheles and Faust, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, but you said Faust isn't really even a devil traditionally. Faust is just a guy who made a deal with the devil.
Yeah.
And this was something that we talked about way back in the epigram about the devil and the monster. How there were two of them. But yeah, I do think it's interesting, like you said, that it's there's more than one now. Like between the Devil's Apprentice, between Chapek, between Johann.
Well, I don't know if The Apprentice really counts. What a loser.
I don't know what to do with that guy.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about him.
Mm-hmm.
There's a really good when Chapek says frightening things. I just think that's a great panel. He's got a little bit of extra shading.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I like the detail that going forward a little bit to when Milan and Tenma are talking, they make it explicit, a thing that has been talked about in the last couple chapters, where they know Tenma was the Japanese man that helped put out the fires in the Turkish quarter. And I like that they say, everyone tells the story of a Japanese guy who ran around during the fires, like helping put it out. We know that's you. We know, you're the one who is on this quest. Like, I like that it comes back. I've said it every time. I like that this is a comic with history and consequences, and that we've built up enough
history
of a
and
story.
Consequences are Urasawa's stock in trade, my man. Like, oh, buddy.
Yeah, it's
man.
good. It's a good device to fall back on.
Dude,
it makes it feel weighty.
Consequences, like, if that's
the subtitle of this podcast, History and Consequences.
Literally, History and Consequences. Christ, you could that may as well be the subtitle of Billy Bat. Jesus God.
The listeners, just a very quick detour. I have recently looked into some self-printing options for future comics, and as a result, I've seen some glimpses and pieces of things to come. And, I've said that Urasawa is a fan of Stephen King. Quinn, do you know what's a thing that Stephen King is fixated on? The Kennedy assassination.
Oh. Indeed.
Just hold on to that one, listeners.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, boy. How much? Oh, okay.
We'll get to Billy Bat. I mean, look, maybe we'll do it after Keaton. I don't know. Depending on the results of some recent experiments.
You make such a good... Okay. Well, no, we're saving Billy Bat for a long time. A long time.
That's not fun for me, but
look, I don't wanna do it too soon, man. It's one of my favorites.
We can't blow. Look, that's
exactly.
Fair. That's fair.
I don't want to get it out of the way. Okay. Do we have any other? Oh, right, the convention center where the
most '90s thriller movie thing ever. That we have a crucial shooting occurring at like a convention center. Like that is a set piece out of one of these movies.
Yeah. I wonder what kind of convention it is.
I was trying to figure that out.
It says there's a poster that says Muse, and I wonder, is it the band? What if it's the band? Did the band have a little booth at the convention center? Funnily enough, my Czech friend, she really likes Muse. Anyway,
that feels like a very Eastern European,
right?
Like central to Eastern European band to like is Muse.
So Leidelheim Convention Center does not exist. However, I looked up what Leidel means. It's really funny. It means unfortunate. So it's unfortunate home convention center. So.
Oh man, that's good.
Isn't that funny?
I like that scene. My last two notes: I do not think the black and white rendering of a Yakudan looks very appetizing. Unfortunately, I think it makes it look like a bowl of one of my favorite types of cereal, Special K with red berries.
It does look a bit like that. I'm trying to figure out what them leaves are. What are those leaves?
What are them leaves?
What leaves are you putting in your Yakudan?
What are you doing here, buddy?
Obviously, Urasawa knows what a no Yakudan is like. So I'm the dumb one here, but I just don't know what leaf you're putting in your Yakudan. That's that's just my, because that's
not a 10 out of 10 here. I mean, we've talked a bunch about the redemptive power of sandwiches in this manga and how good all of the sandwiches look. This Oyakudon not looking super appetizing. My other note, I think and I should have said this at the start, I think the use of newscasts in this manga is extremely good. How we can use it as like a thing that we can cut between characters on, as like the pivot point that we can go from one to the other. Like everyone's watching this same news broadcast. Everyone's extremely online and very informed in this story. If Twitter existed, everyone would be on their phones all the time.
That's a funny idea.
It's good. I like that Nina's seeing the same thing, and this is why I made my caveat at the beginning about who the guys from Nina's flashbacks were, because this in the story is when she's able to identify the guy from her memory is with this newscast here.
Yep. All right. But we're an hour in.
We're an hour in, and we've done 2 of 10.
I mean, I think these two probably have some of the most to talk about, honestly.
I do too, especially after we get through the next 2. I think we'll fly through the rest of it.
Yep. Which is interesting that we have 2 volumes in a row now that have that kind of pacing.
Front-loaded.
Yeah, definitely front-loaded. I guess it's kind of like, well, you can kind of see it like this, they're front loading us with detail, so that's like raising stakes, and then the bottom half, the back half is like, now you're over that hill and you're woo, like, yeah. So all right, let's keep heading up this. Let's keep running up that hill, Matt.
Okay, 134 taxi. There you go.
I don't even know what that song sounds like.
Well, that's what the Kate Bush song sounds like.
Oh, great. Cool. All right.
Well, that's what the synth sounds like on it. It doesn't hurt you. Anyway, 134, taxi driver. The Frankfurt police station is abuzz with activity as the authorities try to figure out who Milan was and who he was targeting. Amid the chaos, Inspector Weisbach arrives from Nordrhein-Westfalen PD. He's here to pick up a serial killer taxi driver and bring him back to Nordrhein-Westfalen as part of his last case before retiring. On the train, the taxi driver scolds Weisbach for smoking, and then the two discuss the taxi driver's murders. He seems cold and unrepentant, counting out his victims on his fingers, rebuffing Weisbach's hopes that he'll think about the peaceful lives he destroyed and regret it. The taxi driver laughs and points out that all of his victims were people he considered garbage. A man who spit on him, a couple who had sex in the back of his car, a drunk, a sex worker, a gossip, all garbage. Weisbach brings up another victim, a bank worker who was a good man, about to testify against a corrupt corporation in a trial. The taxi driver frowns and admits that one left a bad taste in his mouth, and Weisbach asks if he was hired to do that one. The taxi driver looks uncomfortable and then shares his backstory. He saw a man beating his dog in the park and stepped in to stop him. A fight broke out and the cops showed up to arrest the taxi driver. But then a young boy intervened and said that the dog owner had started the fight. The cops left and the taxi driver took the young boy and his twin sister back to his home, as they were alone and looked as if they'd just run away from a hospital. The young boy spoke to the taxi driver about horrible people and how the world doesn't need people like that, flipping a switch in the taxi driver's head and pushing him towards murder. Weisbach and his partner are horrified. They deposit the taxi driver in jail, and as Weisbach is getting ready to punch out, he's struck by a memory of an old, unsolved case he'd been on, involving some twins in a hospital. He speaks with the taxi driver and realizes that the twins are Johann and Nina, and that these same twins are the key to Dr. Tenma's case.
He's only got 30 hours left before he retires.
He's about to retire. Say it again, I dare you. Get this man killed. Stop doing it.
Yeah. He does say it a lot this chapter.
Everyone says it to him. You've only got 30 hours left. We're going to have a drink when you're done. You must be so glad. You are setting this man up to be murdered in a horrible way.
Yeah. Do you think real life cops have a superstition about that?
I'm sure they do. I'm positive they do.
At this point, right?
It's such a movie thing. It has to be based on something real, or it has reflected back into the real life.
No, it's the superstition is reflected back. There's no way it's actually a real thing. It's just a good gut punch, you know. Oh, it was retirement. In Borderlands 2, there's like these combat engineers that you fight sometimes, and
Oh yeah, that always made me feel terrible when that would happen.
Yeah, well, one of their death lines is, "I almost finished my comic collection." And that always
one of them is, it was his last day. Like, there's a
Oh,
bunch
yeah,
of ones
yeah.
around that where he was about to retire. Like,
Yeah.
it's horrible. It's a good meme. It works for a reason.
Good video game. Good video game.
Yeah,
People.
Borderlands 2, good video
Borderlands
game.
2, it's the best Borderlands game.
I think I'd agree.
Except for Tales from the Borderlands, but that's not exactly
that one's pretty good.
Game.
Yeah, but that's a different kind of game.
You don't even know. We only played like 2 chapters. You don't even know.
We played 2 chapters and they were good.
Yeah, you don't need to stop talking.
Hey, this lead detective kind of looks like Gene Hackman a little bit.
I
love to say that people look like actors. That Quinn is like, I know that name, but don't know who that is.
I guess I'll look him up. Here we go, Gene Hackman.
A little bit. Oh,
no, yeah.
Gene Hackman's kind of got a mustache sometimes, and Weissbach does not.
I can see it.
Yeah,
no, I can totally see it.
So,
yeah, this is a really, really fun chapter.
I like it a lot. I think it's some strong character work. I like
really strong
everyone here.
Yep. I love the design of Reinhardt, of the serial killer. The chin on this man.
He kind of looks like Carl a little bit, but not really. And he's kind of like, you just get bad vibes off this guy immediately. I like the counting on his fingers detail. That's why I called it out in the summary.
Good. Yeah. Counting off all those irreplaceable lives on your fingers. Those poor souls. And then the next panel is the guy looking at his hands, kind of confused. He's like, did I miss one? You know, it's a panel that would be easy to skip over, but I think it's really, really good.
I like his obsession with breaking, like, kind of arbitrary rules.
Yes, so this is a specific type of serial killer.
Is it? Okay, because in religion class in high school, there was, my Bible teacher told us a story about, like, something similar, where it was, like, you know, these people who are doing this horrible thing, and then he gets upset that he's breaking some, you know, in this case it was, you know, they'd done something horrible, and then the guy was mad that, you know, they were watching TV on the Sabbath or something, right? So it's like you're focused on the wrong arbitrary rules, right?
Yeah. Well,
but
I don't know.
Tell us about the serial killer.
So the serial killer isn't about, like, arbitrary rules. It's just about, like, that's this taxi driver's problem. But the serial killer is called a missionary, and they're the kind that sees it as their goal to rid the world of undesirables. A decently common reason for being a serial killer, I think, or stated goal.
I mean, that's like a trope. In Stephen King, there's a couple serial killers who kill homeless people and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's based on reality. That kind of thing happens. It's a thing. I do really like the characterization of this guy, though. He has a line that I think is really fun. Spitting on another human being is just a rotten thing to do, don't you think?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's this idea of, like, you killed a man over this, and it was a rotten thing to do. Like, that being motivation for murder.
Is this... So I haven't seen this movie, so I can't say.
Sure.
Is this the Scorsese film Taxi Driver?
I haven't seen Taxi Driver neither.
Okay, so we're out of our depth here, but my knowledge of Taxi Driver, right? Very famous movie. Written by Schrader, directed by Scorsese, starring De Niro. I think who's the girl that's in that? It's not Brooke Shields. Well, it's Jodie. I think it's Jodie Foster.
Man.
Yeah, it's Jodie Foster who, you know, as we know, John Hinckley Jr., the guy who tried to kill Reagan, modeled himself after Taxi Driver, right? Was the whole thing in that. So Taxi Driver's like De Niro he's basically like an incel who snaps and then just like is going around killing a bunch of people in New York, and he's got this young sex worker, Jodie Foster, who's with him. And then he gets killed at the end of it. So I think that's an inspiration, maybe not. I mean, the chapter is called Taxi Driver.
Chapter's called Taxi Driver, and we know Urasawa's a film guy. Like,
it's an
kind
explicit
of
reference.
Hard to, yeah, it absolutely has to be.
And I think it works because, like, here, you're like, what is this? The thing that kicks this guy's thing off is he picks up these two young children, right? And it's like they're the ones who kick him into this life of, missionary murder, like you said.
Yeah, totally.
It's good. I love the phrase that he uses, that, the one murder that Johann explicitly pushed him to do is the one that left a bad taste in his mouth.
Yeah,
right?
Which then gets repeated next chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun chapter, fun serial killer, and I don't think I have anything else left. But I do think that retirement is a fun ticking clock.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're... Like, sure, there's the death flag, but then there's also, like, can he solve it in the next 30 hours?
That's a good point. Yeah. At this point, I think ending on the, like, cliffhanger that Johann was related to this murder too is we're 134 chapters into this manga. I don't think that reveal hits as hard anymore. But, play the hits. Play the hits.
Well, it's important for...
Yeah, you're right, because this is where we explicitly put it to bed. This is where we...
Yeah, because, this has been kind of, like, we set this up a long time ago. We set this up a long time ago, and then it did other stuff for a while, and so now it's like, okay, hey, remember this whole thing? Remember the whole serial killer thing? Let's get back to that. So this is chapter 135, Unrelated Murders. Rudy is interviewing a serial killer who claims to be a vampire. And he talks to him about his various victims and then brings up one that doesn't fit his MO. You see, the vampire only likes the blood of virgins, but this one girl, well, she was a well-known Madonna in high school and she had a kid at 17. When asked about it, the vampire says, "That one left a bad taste in my mouth. I met the real thing. When I met him, I knew. I realized I was just one of those little bats that flutters around the real vampire." The vampire that he met wrote the name of the person for him to kill in a sandbox in Greysheim. With a stick. Rudy's talking to another serial killer. This one gets messages from aliens. But all of his other murders are around Hamburg, except for one in Frankfurt. So Rudy asks, well, what's up? Why'd you go to Frankfurt? And the guy says, I'll never forget it. A real alien right in front of me, in a park in Griesheim. He spoke alien, but he wrote the letters in the sand so that I would understand. At the police station in Dusseldorf, Inspector Weissbach has cleaned out his desk. Everyone says, let's go get drinks. Dr. Rudy Gillen passes by on his way to interview Reinhardt. Is that his name? Reinhardt? Oh, the guy.
Taxi driver.
Yeah, taxi driver. You interview taxi driver. And Rudy asks him about the one murder that doesn't fit his MO. Oberth of the Bilger Investment Bank. And the taxi driver does not answer the question. Weissbach catches up with Gillen after the interview and says, say there was a child who was like a monster. The child grows up and revisits adults who cared for him when he was young. Rudy says, tell me more. They go back and talk to the taxi driver. And the taxi driver basically says the same thing. There was a guy, and it was in fact that kid. And he wrote a name in the sandbox in Griesheim. Griesheim, by the way, is in Frankfurt. And Rudy knows that something is happening in that town. Johann, what's he setting in motion in Frankfurt? super fun chapter.
Yeah,
Super,
I like this one a lot.
fun. It's poppy. It's bouncy.
I love the two guys that. Well, first of all, I spoke too soon last time that, when Rudy, during his interview with Nina, he wasn't using the tape recorder because back here, he's got the tape recorder in both of these interviews. But I love both of these guys that he interviews, that they're just like guys who are like classic movie monsters, a vampire and an alien guy.
Like not actual serial killers, but really, really fun tropified like dudes.
And it just leads. It's so much fun. Like the phrase, I listeners, you can't see, but when Quinn read the phrase, I realized I was one of those little bats that flutters around the real vampire. I was doing like like going off, because like, man, that's so good. It's such it's a good line that communicates so much. And then with the alien guy, I love the idea that Johan like pretended to be an alien and staged an alien landing and like spoken gibberish or something to this man. Like
yeah, it's really fun.
It's just fun to imagine.
Yeah. I like that Johan, because now we see that to all of these three guys, Johan appears as the real thing. Whatever it is that these guys are looking for, whatever they're seeking for, Johan appears as the real thing. To the taxi driver, Johan was the real moral. To the vampire, he was the real vampire. To the alien guy, he was the real alien. Matt's going to get something, and I'm really curious what it is. Matt, what are you getting? What? Oh! He's got the good book. He's got the
Bible. People. Okay, do you know what I think this is a reference to? The writing in the sand specifically. So specifically, this is a story that I think only shows up in the Gospel of John. And there's a lot of dispute. And I think it only shows up in later versions of the Gospel of John. There's whole fields of studies about, history of biblical manuscripts and stuff like that. But
I actually think I might have heard the story you're talking about.
I think you know what it is, because it's a pretty famous one.
Jesus, he writes something in the sand for people, but I don't remember what he writes.
Okay, here it is.
Okay.
And I guess in my Bible, it even makes a note of it. It's the earliest manuscripts do not include 753 through 811. So this is the story. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'll summarize the beginning. But the story is, one of the things about Jesus is the scriptural leaders of the day really don't like him. And they're always trying to figure out ways that they can trap Jesus and get him to admit to being a heretic. And then they can show, he doesn't know what he's talking about. We can get rid of him and he won't be popular anymore. So at one point, one of the things that they do is they they find a woman who's caught in adultery, like maybe a sex worker, maybe something like that. I don't know. And they drag her out in the middle of it into the street, and they say, Jesus, according to the laws and the prophets, this woman's committing adultery. She should be stoned, right? So then I'll start reading in John 8:6. They said this to test him, that they might have some charge to bring against him. Jesus bent down and wrote with his finger on the ground. And as they continued to ask him, he stood up and said to them, "Let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her." And once more he bent down and wrote on the ground. But when they heard it, they went away one by one, beginning with the older ones, and Jesus was left alone with the woman standing before him. So I think common tradition is held that what Jesus was writing in the ground was all of the people who were standing around with stones ready to stone this woman, like the sins that they had done, right? And they're seeing them one by one and being like, oh yeah, no. Because he says, let him who is without sin cast the first stone. And then he's writing them out, one by one, yeah, I know what you did. No one's perfect,
Oh.
So to me, whenever I see people writing in the ground, that's what I think of. And I don't know if there's a clean one-to-one other than the imagery.
No, because if what Jesus was writing were the people around him and the sins he knew they had committed.
Yeah, I guess you're right. This is just Johan's weaponizing it in a horrible way, right? Where he's pointing these people at the ones who have sinned and being like, "Go cast that stone, buddy."
It's the Antichrist,
Yeah. Oh, it is the Antichrist. 100%. Yes.
To say you shouldn't throw the stone.
It is the Antichrist.
Johan writes it to say, "Well, go and throw that stone, buddy." It's
back to the epigram. Yeah.
Oh, that's.
So I really like. I really like
So
that's
good.
how Johan has been communicating to people that they need to go do their murder.
Yeah.
Is
By
by
the way,
writing it in the sand.
Griesheim is kind of in the southwest. It's a city quarter of Frankfurt. Yeah. It was suburbanized in 1928. According to Wikipedia. So there you go. And also, hi Rudy, love you Rudy, hi Rudy.
Hi Rudy, I love Rudy. I love Rudy. He's one of my favorite characters, honestly.
Rudy's so good, and he's come such a long way from like his first like introduction.
Oh yeah,
which is awesome. I just thought.
Here's another thing I love. I love that Weissbach is immediately able to make the leap where he's talking to Rudy. He's like, hey, hypothetically, if there was a child that was like a monster, which is something that has taken like everyone else dozens of chapters to figure out.
Hey,
Weissbach in like 6 hours has been like, hey, if there was a kid who was like monstrous, do you have thoughts about that?
Like it's kind of like a kid, but he's also sort of like a monster.
He's kind of twisted, kind of evil.
Type. Like yeah, kind of like he probably has a Tumblr. It's like welcome to my fucked up mind. You know, and he kids like that. Yeah, fun chapter. I love introducing serial killers.
There's one visual note that I like on this one a lot. It's page 276, 277, 278. Okay. When Weissbach's boss comes in and is telling him, good work, Inspector Weissbach, after he's cleaned out his desk. Yeah. Weissbach's thanks is in vertical letters, which I just kind of read as like him kind of slowly saying thanks. And it makes me laugh. I like it.
It is fun. Yeah. All right. Let's pop over to 136.
The baby's gloom. The baby has a crush on a stripper. He treats her to expensive things and fancy dinners and says that there's something special about her, and he feels he can talk to her. He tells her that he pays people to spend time with him, but even then he feels alone. But with this girl, he feels something new, something that scares him. The baby and Peter Chopik discuss the 3 unrelated murders from the last 2 chapters: the investment banker, the home decor shop girl, and the trader. The pair understand why the first 2 had to be killed to avoid scandal, but are confused by the murder of the trader. The baby wonders what Johan's will is and asks if they really understand the forces that they're working with. Chopik tells the baby not to worry and asks if he's been able to find Nina. The baby remembers the look in Nina's eyes when she held him at gunpoint the night of the Turkish Quarter fires, and Chopik is amused, remarking that the program he helped work on must have been successful with them. The baby and the stripper get ice cream, and the baby meets with the young man, the devil's apprentice, to tell him that he needs to stop running wild. It turns out that he's the son of one of the organization's founders, not Chopik, not Gedrick, not Wolf, and that the unrelated murders were to cover up his scandals. The young man brushes the baby aside and threatens him, but then says he'll cooperate and tone it down. The baby and the stripper split up, and she refuses his money, saying that she had a nice time. She asks if she can come up to his room and asks him what his real name is. We cut away. A man passes her in the elevator and enters the baby's room to find him dead in the tub as Be My Baby skips on the record player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think we know for sure if it's Be My Baby, but it's
Be My Baby,
right? It has to be.
It's 100% Be My Baby because that's how he was introduced. That's how he's played out.
Yeah, totally.
That's his record.
And it's a good send off to a
It's a good send off. I don't like this chapter very much, but I think it's a good send off to him. I don't know. There's something about the how much time we spend with the baby and this girl. I don't care for it. I don't especially know why. I don't know. It's very similar in the Game of Thrones books. Tyrion, who is one of the Lannisters, who is a small person. He has a relationship that's very similar to this with a sex worker, and I think it's played better there. I don't know. For some reason, there's something about this
chapter there.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, right? Where it's like, oh, we're supposed to sympathize with and care about the baby in this chapter, and I don't know, all of it just feels phony, and it's supposed to, right? Because she's out to murder him.
Yeah,
right?
She is out to murder him, and he's this little Nazi fuckhead.
It's funny in some ways where, like, he says, my dream is to be like Hitler. And she says, my dream is to be a dancer.
I really love that. Like, it's so funny.
I mean, it's funny. So maybe that's the thing. Maybe I'm just missing the joke. Like, maybe this is just supposed to be funny.
I don't think so. I don't even know if that sequence... I think that sequence is supposed to be funny. I think one of the reasons why it might not be landing for you is because the chapter isn't really about the baby. It's about everything else that's happening in the organization, but we're just hearing about it through the baby's flashbacks.
Right. And I'm so much more interested in the stuff that we have with the young man, right? That, like, he makes a comment, I'm on the street and nobody knows who I am. And they, like, don't say who his father is. It's like, is his father someone who's notable and, like, maybe a real life figure or something?
That would be crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I assumed Bonaparte was the fourth member of this organization, but I don't think that's the case.
No, I don't think he is. Yeah, and then the baby dies. This fucking The Devil's Apprentice.
I do like that it cuts away before he says his name. I like that it cuts away before, with monsters, focus on names being important. Yeah.
Yeah, we never learn the baby's name. He's just a baby to us. Yeah, I think that is really interesting. And ultimately, I don't know. Like, are we supposed to sympathize with the baby? I don't even know if this humanizes him very much. I think
we're supposed to pity him, but in the same way that you pity, like, like the Phantom of the Opera, or like pull. This sort of character.
A very good pull. Yeah, the sordid guy who's, who gets fucked over, but, like, it's not like he didn't make his bed.
Yeah.
I don't really have much of anything else to say about the chapter, except that I really, really love the design of the murder stripper.
Oh yeah, she's cool.
I love her face. She has a great face. She's got these, like, tilted eyes, and this really like cutely drawn smile where it looks like all of her teeth are one tooth. It's kind of like a bunny.
Yeah, I like how her eyes look different when we see in the elevator. Her eyes are, and she's frowning.
Like almost a different
it's good.
Person. Yeah, it's cool. Yep. So there you go. That's that chapter.
I also I do like that the baby is the one who's realizing, like, hey, I think we're in over our heads here.
Yeah.
And Chopik is like,
it's fine.
What are you talking about?
This is all part of the plan. Yeah. Chapter 137, Footsteps of Terror. Could also be translated The Terror's Footsteps. It could also be the possessive of substance, material, which means footsteps made out of terror. So could be, I mean, it's Japanese, so it's any and all of those at the same time. Chopik remembers taking one of the twins down the stairs of the three frogs and seeing their tearful, angry face. His bodyguards talk to him about the baby's death, and Chopik remembers the baby asking if we really know what Johan's doing. He reassures himself that everything is going according to plan. They make a plan to take Chopik to a cabin of his in the woods. There will be a couple more bodyguards waiting for him there. He gets nervous because he realizes he doesn't know who those other two bodyguards are. And he asks his driver to take him somewhere besides the cabin. And the driver reaches over for a lighter to light a cigarette. Chopik thinks he's going for a gun, shoots him. I skipped over a little bit where Chopik was remembering when he met Franz Bonaparte. And how when he saw the twins, he said that they will undergo the Franz Bonaparte program and lead the future of humanity. After shooting his driver, Chopik walks to his cabin. They were already most of the way there. No one seems to be there. He pours himself a glass of wine. Johan is standing in the shadows and says, at the Red Rose Mansion, a bunch of people drank that wine. This one isn't poisoned, though, lol. Chopek asks where the bodyguards are. He asks, why did Johann kill the baby? I thought we were on the same side. Johann says, everything is going according to plan. And he asks Chopek, what am I? The monster inside of me wasn't inside of me. It was outside. Franz Bonaparte is alive, isn't he?
Lot going on here. Very good chapter.
Lot going on. Not a lot, I feel like, that I need to talk about.
Not a lot to
but
discuss.
It's busy. Yeah. It's just, we're hanging out with Chopek now, which I did mention it earlier when we were getting his backstory, but I really like how much time we spent with younger Chopek and Milan, and being like, oh, what was this guy like, before all this bullshit. Yeah. And now here he is, and it's all coming home to roost. Footsteps of terror.
Yes. Coming home to roost is good. I think the primary accomplishment of this chapter is the sense of paranoia that it's able to convey. Yeah. In every panel. I mean, going back to the very first couple of readings, I talked about thriller paranoia in the bit where Tenma and Nina are in the back of the cop car with the two crooked cops. And it's that scene where it's like, okay, do we know if these cops are good or bad or what's going on?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, it's up to the reader to be like, I feel paranoid. But here in these chapters, it's every frame is drawn in a way where we are keyed into Chopek's paranoia, right? Where it's like, we see his driver reach for his cell phone, and we're shown that he's reaching for a cell phone, right? But Chopek thinks it's a gun, right? And that's why
we don't figure out that he's reaching for the lighter until...
No, I'm pretty sure, doesn't it show he's...
Nope, it just shows him reaching over into the seat. We see him getting a cigarette, so we could assume...
Oh, yeah, he's getting a cigarette. You're right.
For the lighter. But
okay,
Chopek can't see it.
You're right.
So it's dealer's choice, I guess. I think a reader could go either way. I think you're right. Thought he was going for a gun.
Okay. So I love this chapter. I love how terrible he looks the whole time. I love the wine thing, right? Like how he tries to make himself throw up, and Johann's like, "No, here, look, I'm drinking the wine too. It's not poisoned." It's good.
Yeah.
In the flashback when he looks into the crib, horrible vibes, terrible vibes.
Yeah, he's like coming at an angle.
Yep.
It's. Ugh.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
This
Chopek,
is
Chopek, you can really see that everything's falling down around him. He even tries to threaten Johann by saying that he has Johann's sister. Like, man. And we don't see Johann's eyes until the very last panel. At all.
Yeah. You're right. We're just seeing the top of his face, and he's shrouded in darkness and shadow. Oh yeah, the bottom of his face. The top of his face is covered in shadow.
Yeah.
It's good, and the recurring phrase, everything's going according to plan. Whose plan is it? What am I? And we jumped the gun a little bit on the monster wasn't inside of me; it was from outside of me. But I don't know if that's so much a revelation as much as it is just like a thing to think about that might be important.
Well, what it's a revelation of is it's a revelation for Johann. Johann, all this time, has seen himself as having the monster inside of him, as being born inherently a certain way. And now he's found out it came from outside of himself. That's why he asks, what am I? He doesn't think he doesn't exist anymore, or maybe he does, but whatever his self-image is, his self-concept is, it's changed now. His self-concept isn't the same thing. Once again, Johann goes through character development, and we are left out here wondering what the fuck it is.
It seems wild that we'll get to spend time with Franz Bonaparte before the end of this story in 20-ish chapters, but I'm sure we will.
I don't think we spend much. Right.
There'll probably be a little bit, is my guess, if he's alive.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what happens.
I don't think you can. I'd be absolutely fucked if you could predict how, like,
I
what the last act of this manga is.
Look, there's no
Like,
way I can. I mean, the thing that Nina says in the end, I'm not going to spoil what she says, but the
mhm.
thing she says in the last chapter before we finish unlocked something for me.
No,
And
yeah.
I
Oh,
still I don't know how this ends.
we'll
But
figure it out later. All right, 138, 138.
138 traces of Johan. Chopik's goons show up to get Nina, but she gets the jump on them. She agrees to go with them so she can get to Chopik. The cops show up to question Milan's family, but Tenma has already warned them. He's told the kids not to seek revenge, as it's an endless cycle, and Milan was trying to stop this with his death. Tenma tells the kids to stay in school and make Milan's dream come true, and visit their home countries someday. Tenma follows the Devil's Apprentice to a loft apartment that seems to belong to Johan. When the young man enters, Ava is waiting for him, with a gun, and asks where Johan is. Nina arrives at Chopik's and finds him slumped over in a chair. She goes monster mode for a second and draws her gun, breathless. Chopik is sure he'll be killed, saying it makes no difference if it was Johan or the sister, and mumbles about the plan. Whose plan is this? Nina can't pull the trigger. She demands to be taken to Johan. Quick
Yep.
chapter.
Very quick chapter. Several of the chapters in this reading are pretty short.
I think these last from like here to the
Yeah.
end. Every chapter is pretty short.
Yeah, definitely. These kids really want some revenge.
They go monster mode for a second. We can't see their
Yeah.
eyes. It's shadowed.
Yeah, revenge, revenge.
Yeah, that's spooky. I don't like it. But I like that Tenma's able to. I do think it's funny that Tenma has the most 90s after school special, like, stay in school, visit your home country someday. Like,
Yeah.
This is pre 9/11 rhetoric, like, at its
Oh
peak.
my god, yeah. Study hard, like, and then we get the sad piano. We get sad piano.
Yep.
And then I really like the bit he closes the door and then there's two shots of like the apartment family as the police walk in front of them. So good. Really, really cool little thing there.
It's good.
Yep.
One detail I like here that I didn't remark upon when it first showed up was the fact that in this investigation as to, Milan gets killed in the convention center trying to murder Chopik, but one of the details is no one really knows who Milan was or who his target was. And I think that's like we don't do a whole lot with it here, but I think that's like an interesting thriller device where it's like, there was someone important here who was the target, but we have no clue who it was.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I think that's a fun device because the cops remark there's reams of paper here about a man called Peter Chopik, and they're able to deduce it from there. But I think that's neat. I like that.
Yeah.
Johan's apartment's cool. There's lots of books and like a globe. I think that's his apartment.
I'm pretty sure that's his apartment. Yeah.
Ava got a big gun.
Ava did get a big gun. Next chapter we actually find out what gun it is. And Chopik's just aged like 20 years in a single night.
Oh, he looks
like
horrible.
Oh,
yeah.
oh.
I mean, the strands of hair like coming down the front of his forehead, I think is like the big thing. And like how his glasses are just kind of doing the solid Gendo Ikari thing a lot, right? Where it's like, we can't really see his eyes anymore.
Yeah.
He just looks so old and like he's collapsing.
Yeah. I really like the ending panel where Nina asks where Johan is. Like, she's just really well drawn. She just looks like a hero. Like that's Tenma's not exactly a hero, but Nina is a big damn hero.
Oh yeah, she's the hero. I love because Nina never really has Johan killing monster face, but she's got in the memories like when the baby was remembering Nina pointing the gun at him, and when we're seeing her here, she's got like this gritted teeth, wide eye kind of look that I think is cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it's important that she still really hasn't killed anyone. We're still operating in no more victims mode, and everyone is always shocked when that's the mode that we're operating in.
Yeah. Yeah, it is cool. What's really cool is how everyone is like, all right, kill me. And she doesn't do it. And like, boy, you would think that that would be like at this point in 2023 that, oh wow, somebody doesn't kill somebody. Wow, you're telling
It's
me the
played out.
protagonist doesn't kill someone?
Yeah,
And yet when she puts the gun down,
It
you
still
still
works.
go, yeah, it still works. You're still like, damn, she didn't do it. Because she has, as far as any reasonable person would go, she has as many reasons as a person could possibly fucking have. And she doesn't do it. And, no matter how many times I see it, it's still impressive. Even if she's a fictional character that doesn't actually have agency, she's believable. And I believe that she has that willpower, and it impresses me.
It's good.
All right. Chapter 139.
Massacre.
In the dark, some people say to each other, "You think they're still at it? They're all killing each other." In the present, Ava puts a silencer on her P7M13 and says, "If I hadn't brought you two together, Martin would still be alive." The Devil's Apprentice begs for his life and tries to calm things down. Ava shoots his ear off and says that she looked into his background. He is Christoph Sivernich, who is the son of Ernest Sivernich, who is in financial control of Frankfurt and of Germany as well. Nina asks again, "What did I do by introducing you?" And Christoph says, "You've got it all wrong. Johann and I have known each other for a long time. Chopek doesn't know. But Christoph is Sievernich's adopted son. Say he's adopted, but a smuggler sold him to Sievernich. Christoph came up at 511 Kinderheim, the only other survivor besides Johann. And we go back to that fateful day. Christoph is hiding underneath a sink in a cupboard with a couple of other kids. One of them leaves to go take a look and see if it's safe. He never comes back. Christoph says he decided to save himself. He's probably having a hot meal right now. The other kid leaves and doesn't come back. On the verge of death, the cabinet opens. Well, I guess probably not on the verge of death. He just doesn't look good. He's just having a bad time in there. And in the morning, the cabinet opens. Johann is silhouetted in the light and says, "I have a plan." In the present, Nina asks what Johann's planning. Christoph throws a book at her. Pins her, grabs the gun, says, "A politician's face is his life. I'm going to rule the world, right? Join forces with Johann and take over the world. Isn't that right? This won't do it all." And then Tenma says, "Drop it," and he points a gun at the guy. And from outside the building, we hear a couple gunshots. It's Urasawa's favorite thing. He loves to do this.
It's some Batman shit. This is like how Batman issues end too.
Truly.
Is like we're outside and gunshots are going off and we don't know who's being shot. Yep.
In the car with Chopik and Nina, he asks her why she hasn't killed him. He presumes she's recovered her memories. It's like, well, why didn't you kill me? Nina, like Johann, asks, "What are we?" And Chopik says that he's heard the story of how the twins were born.
Now, I'm just going to start right here at the end because I think this is interesting. That Johann asked, "What am I?" And Nina has asked, "What are we?"
Yes.
Right? Where Johann sees himself as Nina as part of him, I am you, you are me. Nina always sees them as, they're a unit, but they're a pair.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Where it's Johann is singular. Nina knows that I don't know. I don't know if that's anything. I think it is because of what she says when they have their showdown at the end of this reading. Man, but what a good phrase. I've heard the story of how you twins were born. And what a story it is, as we will get into.
Oh boy, isn't it fucking just?
Holy cow!
Before that, what do we want to say about this chapter, Massacre? First off, the opening page is so good.
Good as hell.
Just like it's
incredible.
Just like dark. It's like black, and then you've got like these like
shots
eyeballs.
Of eyes.
You got like the eyeballs, like the underside of the sink, like drain in scratchy hatches. Oh, wow.
Quinn? Have you ever hid under a sink?
No.
Growing up playing hide and seek with my brother and my sister, I think the time that like I was able to make it the longest without being found was I hid under a sink.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good hiding spot. Is kind of what I am saying there. It was a while. Her silencer, that is a huge fucking silencer.
It is. Yeah.
It's massive. Like, I mean, the last time we saw Ava was she was buying a gun big enough to kill the devil. And yeah, she has done such. She has bought a big gun. She is going to kill the devil.
Heckler and Koch, P7M13. By the way, I don't just know it because I'm like a gun guy.
Well, it's on there. Yeah, like I'm looking at that. I was about to say, like, are you a gun guy?
I'm not a gun guy. I'm friends with a couple of gun folk. And I really like hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades, which is a VR game.
That's a gun game.
Like a gun Yeah, it's a gun game. So I'm gun guy adjacent, but I am not a gun guy. However, I did a bit of research on this piece, and it was standard issue for German police officers at the time. It was in production until 2000, so this is right about the time when that was. So it makes sense that would be a pretty easy gun to acquire on the black market. Just it's one that would be around in Germany in the era. So there you go. And I think silencers are normally that big, actually.
They're huge because that's how they work. You know, I don't know a whole lot, but I know that's how they work. I like the flashbacks of Ava pointing her finger and then pointing her gun across the opposite page. It's fun imagery. It's good. It's okay. In this first section, the stuff that I think is interesting. So if I'm reading this correctly, his father was the man who was in charge of the criminal bank. Though from way back where we had the story from the man who Small Boy made the chicken Marenko for. What's our friend the thief? What's the thief's name?
Otto?
Yeah, that Otto Heckel made the chicken Marenko, and that guy was like, he tells Tenma and everyone the story of the criminal organization, and the leader was killed. Is this the leader of that bank?
Whoa, yeah, it must be.
Okay, so this is the organization. It's the criminal bank. The Devil's Apprentice is the son of the guy who did the criminal bank, but he's not really his son because he came from Kinderheim 511, which is why that child trader was killed.
Matt, that's incredible that you managed to connect that up. That really,
Well, it's a little clunky. Like I don't think it's bad, but it is a little bit clunky.
One thing I was just thinking about this while I was taking notes for this reading. Monster does plenty for you if you just read it, but it actually really rewards detective work. Like, it doesn't spell everything out, but all the pieces are there, and you can go, oh, this group is connected to this thing, and this murder happened at this time at this place. You can make everything line up.
Yeah, you can fit it into a nice line, I think is the thing. And so I think that's interesting. The other thing that I think is really fun about this is he's explaining his whole backstory to Ava, who is like maybe one of the only characters who doesn't know any of this backstory at all. Yeah, she's just like completely lost.
Another fun instance of characters explaining things to characters that don't know what they're talking about. But we do.
It's good.
Yeah, it's really good. Because it's like, but almost any other character involved.
This would mean something.
It would be incredibly important, but it's Ava, and she's like, huh?
I don't know what that is. Yeah. It's. I mean, I wish she would say that. Honestly, I think that would. Like, I think that would seal the deal. But it's good because, again, now it's this phrase that has been for this reading. I think it's like, whose plan is this? Right? And he's so confident that he's part of Johann's plan. But I don't really think he is. He seems like a sucker.
No, this guy's a fucking sap and a half. He's so lame. You know, like, oh yeah, we're going to take over the world. We're going to rule the world. If this idiot knew Johann's plan, he would know that Johann's plan is not to rule the world. It is to end it. You know, like, to whatever degree that even means. Like, nobody knows what Johann's plan is. Johann's plan has changed multiple times. We know it's changed. This guy thinks they're still doing the same plan from when they were kids. What a fucking sap.
Yeah, it's good. I like... Do you have thoughts about that whole sequence in Kinderheim 511?
I think he's a coward. I think that sequence tells us why this guy thinks he's the
Why
apprentice.
he's the last one standing. Because
Exactly.
he's able to convince everyone else to, hey, go out into the... I mean, because of the organization, because at this point, I mean, Wolf has been off the board. I mean, Gedrick has been off the board for the longest. Yeah. Wolf has been off the board now. Chopik is pretty much off the board at this point, and he's been able to survive just by kind of hiding, I think, like you said.
Exactly. You know, and that, like... And he thinks he's some, like, big shot, but all he
thinks he's part of this plan.
He's been protected by other people dying through other people's work, other people's money. You know, he wouldn't even have his position, I suspect, if it weren't for Johann, because it's not like he killed his own dad. It's not like he's killing people himself. Johann is killing people for him. No, he's a useful idiot who thinks that he's gonna be, like, important in the next phase of the world, but... It doesn't take very much thinking at all to realize that he's nothing.
And that's why I think he's able to have what I think is a very good moment. I think is very good is like Ava shoots his ear off and then he goes full kind of rage mode because he's so vain and such a politician that this is the thing that he cares about, that you've ruined my public image. Yeah. You know, like... And that's what sets it off. And it's a good fight sequence.
It is.
Like, you know, him throwing the book, you know. I like it. It's good. Yeah. I think there's something that's, like, so... There's nothing redeeming about a guy who's set off by how pissed off he is that his image has been ruined. There's something so evil about someone obsessed with their physical appearance, right? And it's like... Sure. I think it's a good comic book villain. Like there's a comic, the Sixth Gun, that I really like, and one of the villains, she is able to acquire a form of eternal life, and she's extremely vain. And I think her vanity is like her. There's a reason that, like, well, I don't know if vanity is one of the 7 deadly sins. I don't actually know, because that's a very Catholic thing, and I'm not from the Catholic line of Christianity. Pride, right? Yeah, so I think it's always. There's something that's very it's narratively compelling when someone is undone by their pride, right?
Yes,
you know?
Totally. You know, and it's also like the specific, like he snaps a little bit. You know, I love the repetition. He's like, I'm going to take over the world. Yes.
Right? Yeah. It's good. I want to watch the scene in that. You know, we've gone over why we don't really think we want to watch the anime, but there have been scenes where I've been like, I want to see how they did this, like how they voice acted it, how they made it move. And this is one of them that I think I will probably watch.
You're totally right. That would be cool. Yeah, I really like this character. I really like his role in things. I like it when he's around. Like, what a true-blooded piece of shit, you know? Mm-hmm. Just this entitled little fucker.
Weasel.
Yeah, total weasel. I really love the shot of Johann standing in the light when he lets Kristoff out of the cupboard. Mm-hmm. I think that's super cool. And everyone's confused about Nina not shooting them. But she doesn't do it. So there you go. Yeah, good chapter.
Okay, chapter 140, which is the chapter where I screamed, what, out loud about 5 or 6 times as I read this chapter. Excellent deployment of color pages. Everything about this chapter is good. Yes. I kept having the horrible premonition that I was going to turn a page and see conjoined twins, thereby even more validating my prediction about things that were going to happen. Yeah, I was like, please, Lord, do not do this to me. Thank goodness that's not what happened.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't. That would have been a bit much.
It would have been too much, I think. Chapter 140, Father and Mother. We finally get the story of Johann and Nina's birth. Their father was a German Czech who stayed in Bohemia after World War II and became a military big shot. His name is not important. Their mother was the beautiful only daughter of a teacher. She attended university and majored in genetic engineering. Her name is not important. The two fell in love and the woman became pregnant. The man then revealed that he'd been assigned to impregnate her as part of a genetic super soldier program the Czech government was running, but he'd fallen in love with her and wanted to abandon his orders. They tried to run away, but this too was part of the plan. They were captured and the man was killed. The woman was confined in a hospital and brought the twins to term, often visited by a man who sketched her, who she deduced was the designer of the program. She promised she'd never forgive them, and the twins would take their revenge. When it was time for her to give birth, she attempted to escape through a heating vent, but collapsed outside the hospital. The twins were born, and Franz Bonaparte refused to let her name them. Chopik reveals that Johann is looking for Bonaparte, who is still alive. The two arrive at a burnt-down building, where Chopik says that she can ask Johann what he plans to do herself. He's here. Ava and Tenma race through town with Kirstov bleeding out in the back seat. They demand Johann's whereabouts, but he claims he doesn't know. Tenma pulls over and instructs Ava to call a hospital from a payphone. Kirstov goads Tenma and says that he knows Tenma can't kill anyone, but Johann wants to see him anyways. Tenma runs away, leaving Ava behind, with a message for her, saying he can't involve her any further, that he's ruined her life enough, and he just wants her to be happy. Ava breaks down in tears as an ambulance pulls up. At the ruined mansion, Nina walks the rubble and comes face to face with Johann.
Oh yeah.
Dude! The genetic super soldier panel, I screamed so loud. It's an incredible panel. It's all these faceless, like, men and women, like Polaroids of faceless people. It was an experiment being conducted with several dozen couples. Yeah. It was hollering. Oh my gosh. What?
Yep. Yeah, man. It's brutal.
Do you know, I say this every time I bring it up, that I hate to do this, but Quinn, have you seen Evangelion? I don't remember.
I have seen Evangelion.
The backstory episode of Evangelion has the same vibes as this, where we get, like, the revelation that, oh, it's probably Shinji's mom in there. Because, like, we have...
Right, yeah.
Ritsuko's mom is in there, and that, you know, it's all when everyone was young working on this program before Second Impact. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what's happening here, is, like, we're speeding through... Because I can't remember. Gendo's left-hand guy is, like, they're interviewing him, and we're getting the backstory, and it's just, like... It's after something horrible has happened, and it's very quiet and just, like, matter-of-fact and, like, horrifying in a way that I thought was very unique, I think, when I watched that episode. Yeah. And now I'm thinking, like, definitely has to come from a lineage of cinema and episodic media and stuff like that. Like, it's happening in the same way here, where it's like, the pieces are, once again, you know, every time that we think it's the end, it's not the end. The beginning was, or every time we think that it's the beginning was further back. It was further back. It was happening earlier. And it was horrible.
Yeah, and that's I do think that's one thing that I've been thinking about in this reading, is this idea that this evil, like, has a lineage, like a legacy, like it keeps passing from person to person. You know, communicated, transferred. Yeah, I really love their names are not important.
Oh, it's so good. That's why I included it in the summary.
I was glad you did.
It's a powerful phrase.
It kills. Oh my god.
And that spread is so good. Like, I'm going to describe the spread. Yeah. On the right hand side, we have their father. We have a portrait of the father. We have him in a line of military men. We have a close shot on his face, and it says his name is not important. And then it's mirrored on the left side with the mother, where it's her, wide Polaroid of her with a group of her friends from college, a close shot on her. Her name is not important. It's good. It's
really good. Also, the color pages at the very start. I think it's important to note, we haven't really brought this up before, but so there have been several color pages in the last few readings that are specifically flashbacks to the childhood of the twins, and those pages are always in
blue and red.
Blue and blue and red and purples,
like purple.
you know, but it's you've got these very strong color filters on them, and that's just, I think that's a very interesting stylistic choice, and I wanted to we've called it the color pages, but I wanted to say specifically, like, those pages that are flashbacks to childhood have very strong color choices made, and very consistent color choices. It's the same palette for these childhood memory color splashes, which I think is really, really artistically awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
And the negative space. There's a lot of amazing negative space on this on this opening thing. You got two panels on the right page, and just a profile,
just a drawing,
picture.
not even panels.
Drawing,
yeah.
You know, and so much extra space in the things. It's a gorgeous pair to start. One fun thing is that the two of them met at a cafe in Prague. It's the Bernard pub again. I guess Urasawa only took so many reference photos. He was like, "I'll just do the Bernard pub." I thought that was funny. Man, and then the whole pregnancy thing, the escape. I know
getting
Matt
out through the vent.
This.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I was screaming.
Yeah. It's like it's hard as hell when a normal person escapes through a vent. But she was in labor.
Oh.
They show barbed wire. She got through barbed wire somehow.
I don't know. It's insane. Whose plan are we following? What did she say? Hang on, let me see. Let me read it. I'll never forgive you. Even after I die, these children growing inside of me will take their revenge on you. Sounds like we're following her plan, if we're following anyone's plan.
Whoa.
I don't know.
Wow, we'll fucking see about that, hey?
What is this mansion that we're at the end? What is this place?
I guess it's not the Red Rose. It isn't the Red Rose. I don't know.
It's not Kinderheim 511. I do not know. We're just at a random abandoned building.
Random abandoned mansion.
Frankfurt?
Yeah. Somebody should tell Roberto. I think he's looking for a place.
I've been waiting for him to show back up. I think he'll be here, but maybe he won't. If he doesn't show up again, I will be a little bit sad that we did not get one last glimpse of our trusted friend.
Yeah, me too. The sequence where she's like, "I've thought of names," and she just keeps repeating it. Oh my god, it is.
It's so sad.
It's sickening. She's so desperate. Like it's a normal thing.
She repeats phrases a couple times, and this is the one where she seems the most distressed that he's not,
Yeah. And this is the first time we see Franz Bonaparte's face properly. He just looks like a guy.
Yeah.
Just looks like a man.
A dude.
And he's always wearing that terrible tie. He always has the same tie on.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to talk about Ava and Tenma and how what he did is cowardice and selfish, leaving her there, not taking her.
I don't know if I would assign it to
maybe not cowardice.
Cowardly.
I think selfish is
selfish for sure.
Because she's in this too now, and he's like, I'm not happy. Like I understand why he has left her there because he thinks that he's protecting her.
Yeah.
But like,
well,
that's not what this relationship is anymore, my guy.
Well, but Tenma doesn't know what any of his relationships are. Tenma doesn't know anything. Like he's living in his own little world of the only thing that matters in my life is killing Johan.
I want Ava to get to shoot someone, I think is where I am at. And now it seems like he has deprived her of. I mean, she shot him in the ear, but like she's not going to get to, pull the trigger in a way that makes her arc satisfying. But I'm sure, two readings left. Maybe she will. I don't know.
Yeah. I really like that Ava's crying and Kristoff says, I don't understand.
That's good. That is a good note.
I also think it's funny that, like, Kristoff he's taking being shot pretty well. He, like, gives Ava Tenma's message. He's not trying to play any games. He's kind of like, fuck, I guess I'm shot.
He shot him in the leg, I think?
Yeah, the leg, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Johan, there's Johan. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, all right.
Okay, one more.
One more. Chapter 141. Someone runs up the stairs at the Three Frogs, opens the door, and one of the twins says, "Welcome home." The Three Frogs is burning in the present day. Now we're back in the past. We're only present for one page. Back in the past, a couple of kids are at a farm in the countryside. Well, it's the twins. I don't need to be cagey. It's the twins. Hi, guys. And they're hanging out at this farm, and there are a couple of adults, and the adults talk to each other, and they're like, "Oh, you think these kids have any parents?" And they think about taking them in, and they do say, and they're like, "Well, probably we can't take them in, but we should notify the police." Nina says, "Look at the flowers." Johan says, "We have to go. I have a plan." They run away, and we pan to the dead bodies of the nice farmers. In the present, now, Nina has a gun. She points it at Johan. Johan says, "Once when I ran away from the Red Rose Mansion and got back to the apartment at the Three Frogs, you greeted me. So now it's my turn. Welcome home." Nina says, "You killed everyone that was ever nice to us," and we flash back to the death of the Lieberts. Tenma's in a taxi. The taxi driver asks him, "Nice day, isn't it?" Tenma says, "Drive a little faster." Also, Tenma just has his gun. He's just holding his gun. He's just in the taxi, just has his gun out. He flashes back to operating on Johan. We also flash back to Nina shooting Johan as a kid. We're back in the present. Johan asks, "Are you going to shoot me again?" Nina says, "Yep. I'm going to end it." Johan flashes back to all of the times that he has seen something that could qualify as the end. And he says, "I've seen the end over and over again." What is the end? Nina says, "This is. You die and I die." And she says, "You've seen it? What did you see? What have you ever seen?" "You don't know, but I'll tell you. I'll tell you a really terrifying story." And for the first time, we see the door of the Three Frogs opening from inside the apartment. And one of the twins says, "I'm back."
Cut to Matt screaming along to Phoebe Bridgers, "I know the end."
Man.
The end is here.
Oh my god.
That is one of my favorite pages in this comic so far.
It's like
the end, the end, the end.
Freight train.
Oh,
I thought you were talking about the very last page.
That one's good. That one's good. But my favorite is the page where it's all of these things that we have thought is the end, right? Yeah. It's everyone dead at the Red Rose Mansion. Kinderheim 511 burning. Johan sitting on the throne as Kinderheim 511 burns. Franz Bonaparte reaching for the kids. The mother dying. Like all of these things that we have thought are the beginning. All of these things that have kicked off this thing that are the end of Johan as like a functional person. I don't know. None of it is. All of it is at the same time. It's, man, there's a lot going on here. And
Johan's like, "I know the end." And Nina's like, "Fuck off."
Do you really? Let me tell you a really terrifying story.
And hearing Nina say that, that scares the shit out of me. When Nina says that,
Yeah. And she looks scared when she says it.
I'll tell you a really terrifying story. Do we want to talk about that weird thing at the start? Like, what's up with the farm? What's up with the farm sequence?
Why it makes me sad.
Like, it makes me.
Why do we got to do
too.
this again?
It just it doesn't strike me as important. It strikes me as kind of messy. The timing of it all is unclear. How long were they there? Did Johan just slit their throats while she was out picking flowers or fucking what. Like, it's cheap heat, exactly.
Hey y'all, you know Ma and Pa Kent? What if we murdered them and then ran off into the wasteland?
Yeah. That was a running sound for anyone that was trying to figure out.
The whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the only thing it establishes Johan has always had a plan from the start.
Yeah.
Right? He has said that his thing has always been, I have a plan, I have a plan, I have a plan.
Which, yeah, he has a plan. Apparently, but I don't know. It's messy, and it strikes me as, especially as like, Monster's tight. It's pretty tight, and this is just an unusually messy sequence to have in there.
That's messy. Hey, do you know what's not messy?
What's not
you
messy?
Die and I die too. That she's convinced this is why it didn't work last time. Is that she lived through it. You die and I die too. We have to go as a unit.
Oh man. There's so many things in this manga that are just like conceptually frightening.
Yeah.
That just give you the heebie-jeebies a bit. Like
I've said it from the start. Yeah. I don't like that Johan and Nina are treated as a unit. Like when that first got introduced, because I loved Nina so much, I was like, I don't like that we have to think about her as a unit with Johan. And the comic is like, yeah, bud, you shouldn't like that. It's spooky. And that's the point.
Yeah.
I'm doing it because it makes you uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's the problem. Tenma, put your fucking gun away in the taxi.
No, load that gun in the taxi.
No,
look cool.
He's just sitting there. He's just like holding it, both hands between his legs. And the taxi driver just hasn't noticed the gun. Like, did Tenma have the gun holstered and then he was in the taxi and then he took the gun out? So the taxi driver just hasn't looked back? I don't know. It just seems strange. Just seems like a strange choice to have made. I think probably, though, there's a lot of great moments in this chapter, but my absolute favorite by far, and you know me, I just love these blink and you'll miss it facial expression panels. But Nina says, "You've seen it," and then she has this face. She makes this scoff. Like it's this incredible. Guys, I read a lot of comic books, right? I read so many comic books. And I can't tell you how unbelievably difficult an expression of this subtlety is to construct. You can count at least 3 or 4 different emotions in this face. This panel is a masterpiece. As far as I'm concerned.
I think these 4 pages, even these 3 pages, because like flipping back, I didn't even catch the end of it, right? It's like we have the end, and the last end is them dying on the border. And Johan says, I've seen the end over and over and over again. And then Nina's response is, what have you ever seen?
That's the fucking thing, is that like he says this thing that you're like,
that's hard, and it's good. And like I said, that's my favorite page.
That.
Yeah.
Like, how could you possibly top that? And then Nina literally just like fucking move. Spikes his ass, just like one-ups him, and it's even stronger because you just don't expect it to be coming from Nina, now
what is
Nina
the end? This is the end.
The
you die and I die too.
What have you ever seen? What have you ever seen?
Man.
Fuck.
Good.
Fuck.
How is there 20-ish chapters left, Quinn?
Oh God. Oh. And seeing the person come back. We've seen Welcome Home so many times, dozens of times now, and we've never seen it from the other way. And now here it is, and holy shit. Oh
man.
What a reading.
What a good comic book this is.
It's a great comic.
I think that's it. I think we're
man, this chapter is such an incredible cliffhanger. It is. I think it might be the single best cliffhanger in the series so far. honestly.
It's really good.
I've been dying.
I've been dying to keep reading.
Me too. And we can do it now.
I can do it. Okay. We just gotta get through segments. So let's do again. Are there really a lot of Tenma moments here? I mean, I guess there's more.
We have more Tenma in this reading than like the last 3.
Yeah, you're right.
We have a lot of Tenma, I would say.
Okay.
There's room for a
you
Tenma
go first.
moment.
Favorite Tenma.
Favorite Tenma is when he is making the paper planes and he says,
yes,
you've just got to keep trying.
Yeah. No, it's because I think when he tells them stay in school and do your thing, that's not as hard. But like when he makes the good paper airplane and says like, yeah, maybe it is wishful thinking, but like you need to keep hoping. I think that's much better. Yes. I like that a lot. That's my favorite Tenma moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We got a lot of good side characters here.
A lot of good side characters. Well, you spent a long time talking about that Nina micro expression.
That Nina micro expression by far. That is man, I can't get over it. It's this comedy, like it's a scoff. She has so much contempt for him in that moment, but she's the mouth is a little bit wobbly, so she's like on the verge of tears because she's so overwhelmed with the amount of like sorrow, and then you've got the eyebrows coming up, and like it's sorrow and rage and derision and pity and fuck.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with the Ava crying and Kristoff saying, "I don't understand."
That's also a great pick. I was thinking of a Kristoff moment, and I think that's it.
Yeah. I almost went with Chopik trying to make himself throw up the wine, but I think I like I like the Ava moment better.
Yeah.
Because there's two. It's kind of you get a 2-for-1. It's both of them having good moments there.
Totally. Side or unnamed. Gosh, I love those silly serial killers.
Oh yeah, the alien guy's my favorite. Do you like alien or vampire more?
Oh, I don't know. One of those black bats flitting around the real vampire.
It's fantastic.
That's really good.
But there is something about imagining Johan pretending to be an alien that I think is so funny that I like.
Well, I don't know if he's pretending. I was also wondering
or if
about
the guy
that.
has just read it as an alien. Yeah, the guy is so deluded.
Yeah, Johan could have just been speaking German, you know.
Yeah,
but I also wouldn't put it past Johan to do whatever it took to make someone to play into someone's delusions.
Yeah,
you know, he could have just been speaking Czech. And this idiot alien
I guess
guy
you're right.
Might not have recognized it, you know, like, I
mean, flip a coin, I will like either of those guys better on any day, but they're a highlight of this reading.
We didn't talk enough about their designs, actually.
Oh, yeah, I mean, because the vampire guy,
really
he's got kind of like a widow's peak.
Yeah, got a little
hair,
widow's
right?
peak, you know, and then the alien guy's got this, like,
bald,
egghead.
little glasses.
Yeah. It's so really like Urasawa just reached into his trope toy box for these two, and I can't get enough.
Yeah,
it's great. So that's that.
Who's rocking this week?
Rocking. Oh.
Victims of genetic experiments.
I suspect you're right about that.
Yeah,
they did. Yeah, you know. Yeah,
the two of them combined.
I mean,
he tried to run, and even that was part of what they expected.
Yeah, if that ain't rocking, I don't know what is. That's rocking pretty hard.
And you already said she crawled through a vent and through barbed wire.
If that's not rocking, I don't know.
If that's not rocking,
like, if that's not rocking, nothing's rocking. Yeah, that's our rocking like standard. That's the yardstick. Great fucking reading. Absolutely
fantastic.
You know, just like really the kind of reading that really just keeps you engaged the entire time, like the whole way through. Real page turner. Man, I'm so excited for the next one. And again, talked about before, Urasawa knows how to do a cliffhanger. You could not put chapter 141 anywhere but at the end of a volume. You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. You shouldn't do it. So just fucking amazing. Man. 2 more episodes. And then the wrap-up episode.
That's shocking to me.
It's crazy.
I'm having a great time. I'm excited to see where we end up. So,
Me too.
Quinn, where can the people find you?
So you can find me, dude. Fuck it. Fuck a Twitter. Fuck it. Fuck it,
Yeah.
Twitter. I'm not doing it. You can find my work at 200 Proof. That's 200proof.itch.io. And you can also find me on Blue Sky. Made a Blue Sky. That's
Blue
at
Sky?
200 Proof Games on Blue Sky. I'm in a bundle. I think that bundle's still going. The Blue Skies bundle, which is a Blue Sky exclusive TTRPG bundle. You get like 50 something games for $20. A lot of really good stuff in there. Several great pieces of work from friends of mine. Lots of great pieces of work from people who I've never heard of in my life. $20. It's like TTRPG bundles are always some of the best bang for your buck of like any bundle, like including video game bundles, any kind of bundle. A TTRPG bundle, it's $450 or something. I think for all that stuff, it's absolutely absurd what you're getting. And so if you have any interest at all in indie tabletop role-playing games, go and check it out. Go and grab it. There's stuff there for newbies, stuff there for advanced story gamers. Everything's there. Blue Skies bundle on itch. Matt, what about you? What about you, big guy?
Yeah, I'm Matt Fennell. You can find me at blarple.net, BLARPLE.net. I've got another forthcoming podcast, Elf Nonsense. You can find that at elfnonsense.com. It will be coming soon. I'm excited about it. I'm also on Blue Sky at Matt Fennell at Blue Sky. I'm posting away over there. But yeah, I've been kind of not online as much recently, so that's probably good in general. But I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be on this podcast. I'm having a great time. I'm excited to see where we end up. Next reading, we will be doing chapters 142 through 151, which comprises Tankobon 17 and the first half of Perfect Edition Volume 9. So we are in the end game. This is the last printed volume.
Stretch. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Woo woo woo.
Yeah. What a recording today.
Absolutely. One of our best. I should say.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I had a great time. I'm excited to hear this episode.
Oh man, cannot wait to start reading. Oh fuck. All right. Well, listeners, I'm going to go get to reading. I hope you do too. And until next time, thank you so very much for listening, and thank you for being a friend.
Thank you for being a friend.